So when he wrote too many poems and novels, when he went to the publishers, they rejected to publish them because they considered it as too blasphemous against God, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. So those emotions, that individual who had that, if you now look at his works, there is nothing. Time has systematically destroyed it. But when he made it, it might have been a wonderful creation. Hello students, I am Anil, Assistant Professor of English, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Today we are going to look at a poem prescribed for the students of B.Ba second semester, titled Ozymandias. Ozymandias by P.B. Shelley. Keep this image in mind as we go on with the poem. In this session, we are going to look at the poet, who is Shelley, and we will go in detail about the poem. Then we will summarize it. P.B. Shelley, Percy Bysshe Shelley. P.B. Shelley, the most revolutionary of all romantic poets, was born in Horsham, Sussex in England. Having completed his early education, he entered Eton College at 12 and later moved to the University College, Oxford, from which he was expelled for authoring the pamphlet, The Necessity of Earthism. So he was sent out of the university because he proposed the necessity of not believing in God. And those times, people believed in Christianity and they always supported to believe in one or the other religion. But this man wrote about the necessity of earthism. Having produced novels and poems by the time he entered the Oxford University, he was immensely popular among the teachers and the students. So he wrote many poetries, many novels, and became so famous amongst his friends, students, and teachers. Shelley espoused many radical political and religious views in his works, which the publishers found too blasphemous or seditious to publish. So when he wrote too many poems and novels, when he went to the publishers, they rejected to publish them because they considered it as too blasphemous against God and too seditious to publish. He was to prove the most important source of inspiration and influence for a few generations of writers and thinkers. He became influential for many thinkers and writers. The following are some of his major works: Queen Mab, a philosophical poem; Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus; Rosalind and Helen, a modern eclogue; The Cenci, a tragedy in 5 acts; Ode to the West Winds; The Mask of Anarchy; Prometheus Unbound, a lyrical drama in 4 acts; Adonius, a defense of poetry; and Hellas, a lyrical drama. These are his works. Now coming to this poem, Ozymandias. It's a sonnet. A sonnet is a 14-line poem. This falls under Petrarchan type of sonnet. And in this sonnet, he explains something important in human life. What is it? I told you to remember the image. Ozymandias. There is a face and there are 2 legs. There is no trunk. Now the sonnet starts like this. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Imagine that picture. I met a traveler. I did not see the image, but I met someone who was a traveler, and he told me that 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage, that means a face, lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well. There are 2 legs standing, but beside it, there is this face half sunken, stone face half sunken in desert. And it talks about the sculpture well. It talks about the sculptor who made it. And how was it to look at? It had a wrinkled lip, a sneer of cold command. They talk about not about that individual, but it talked about the one who made it. tell that its sculptor well those passions red, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless things. So they talk about the sculptor who made it, and they are stamped, the emotions are captured on this stone. The hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. So those emotions, that individual who had that, and on the pedestal these words appear. On the pedestal, on the base of the image, those words are written. There are two trunkless legs, and on the pedestal it is written, "My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, you mighty and despair." So this is what is written here. My name is Ozymandias. I am the King of Kings. Look at my work, you mighty and despair. Those two lines are written here, and what does that say? So here, the one who created the Egyptian civilization, that person is boasting his achievement. So he says, I am Ozymandias, the King of Kings. I created this city of Egypt. Look at my work, you mighty and despair. If you want to succeed me, then you have to build more which surpasses my achievement. And he says with all that ego that you can't do it. These are explained in these two simple lines. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, you mighty and despair. But now, what has happened? Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of the colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. So when he was alive, he might have done that. But now what is remaining? There is nothing. Nothing beside remains. If you stretch your eyes far and wide, all you can see is level sands. Only sands, the desert. You can only see the desert. There is nothing remaining beside this colossal wreck, this destroyed sculpture. Only two vast legs of stone is standing, and the face is half sunk in the sand. But on the pedestal, these two lines are saying this egoistic thought. So there ends the sonnet. What do you understand by this sonnet? Summarizing it, it is this. Ozymandias is centered on a single image, the shattered statue of megalomaniac, the one who said, who wills to do greater things in life, autocrat, lying pathetically abandoned in a desert. But his statue is pathetically abandoned. It is left for decaying in the desert. The sprawling empire the despot was once proud of ruling over. The sprawling empire, he had built a great empire, and he was a despot. He was proud of ruling such a vast empire, but that has been reduced to nullity. But now the time has systematically destroyed everything. There is no proof by the savagery of time. Who has destroyed it? Time. From amidst the ruins of the devastated empire, two lines inscribed on the pedestal stand out in self-mockery. So when you read those two lines, it appears as if it is mocking itself, as if the person is mocking himself. Now the situation is like that. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look at my works, ye mighty and despair. If you now look at his works, there is nothing. Time has systematically destroyed it. But when he made it, it might have been a wonderful creation. He was very egoistic about it. He was very proud of what he did. But time has systematically destroyed all those things. The speaker of the sonnet seems more impressed with the craftsmanship of the sculpture. The speaker of the sonnet, the person who is talking in the sonnet, I, the poet, he meets a traveler from an old land, antique land. And here he says, the speaker of the sonnet seems more impressed with the craftsmanship of the sculptor. When he saw that, when he saw the face and the trunkless legs, he praised the sculptor who did it, the artist who made it, than the narcissistic and inane valor of the King of Kings. So that did not bring the image of the king to his mind, but the craftsmanship of the sculptor. The unforgiving force of history has been more kind to the art. The unforgiving force of history, the things that happen in the past, they have been more kind to the art. That means they have preserved the art. But the empire is gone now. There is nothing beside that image than to other worldly accomplishments. He might have built a great empire. He was the most powerful king of his time. But what did the time do? The time is more lenient or kind towards the art, the image that was made. But the entire empire is gone now. There is nothing around it, only sand around everywhere. So this is what the summary of the sonnet Ozymandias, a poem by B.Ba Shelley. So we have to keep in mind that the art remains beyond everything. So here the poem talks about the sculptor well than the king who boasted himself for his valor, for his achievements, for whatever he did. Therefore, it is mocking its own self. The two statements which says, my name is Ozymandias. Here you can hear the tone of ego. I am the king of kings. Look at my work. But now there is no proof for what he did. The time has destroyed it. Only it is kind for the craftsmanship of that image. I hope you got the poem. Remember the image that I showed in the beginning. And with that, relate everything that is said in the sonnet. With this, we shall meet in the next class. Thank you.